Hello class, good morning. So mag-start na tayo ng topic for this week. So for this week, our topic is all about streptococcus. So whenever we discuss streptococcus, the first step to do is to differentiate it from the staphylococcus. Bakit class? Because streptococcus, it is also part of the flora. Okay? Hello? Ayan. Okay, so again before we before we identify the streptococcus, it is important for you to differentiate it from staphylococcus. So why is that? Because streptococcus is also part of the flora. You can see it on the skin and also on the mucous membrane. So where you can find staphylococcus, you can also find streptococcus. So what are the tests to differentiate the two? The first thing you have to do is to perform gram stain. So take note that streptococcus, they appear as gram-positive cocci in chain. Whereas staphylococcus, they are arranged in clusters, di ba? Pero kapag streptococcus, they are arranged in chain. Pangalawa, you have to perform the catalase test. As we all know, streptococcus, they are all catalase negative. Okay, catalase negative ang mga streptococcus. Kapag staphylococcus naman, they are catalase positive. Okay, so that is their major difference. Also, pagdating naman sa gaseous requirement, okay, some streptococcus can be capnophilic, meaning they love CO2, particularly the Streptococcus pneumoniae. Okay, so how do you culture for the streptococcus? Now, for the culture of streptococcus, it's important for you to culture in blood agar and also in chocolate agar. Bakit kailangan ng chocolate agar? Because class, on the chocolate agar, it is known as an enrichment medium, meaning meron siyang mga supplements for the bacteria to grow. And when you're looking for alpha hemolytic strips such as Streptococcus pneumoniae, it will require hemin or additional supplement for it to grow. That's why you need to culture also in chocolate agar. Another agar is the blood agar. Now, why do we need to culture in the blood agar? Now, the blood agar, this is known to be as a nutritive and differential medium, meaning it can support the growth of microorganism plus it can differentiate some characteristics. Ano ang mga characteristics ng streptococcus that needs to be differentiated? First is the hemolytic pattern. Okay? Now, for the hemolytic pattern, anong importance sa hemolytic pattern class? Because streptococcus can be classified based on different hemolytic pattern. You have here the alpha hemolysis, the beta hemolysis, the gamma hemolysis, and also the alpha prime or what you call the double zone or the wide zone hemolysis. So anong difference sila? Okay. So first is the beta hemolytic streptococcus. So bakit nagkakaroon ng beta hemolysis? When you say beta hemolysis, it means that you can see here the colony, it is surrounded by a clearing zone. Meron siyang clearing zone or what you call the yellow halo. Okay? Nagiging dilaw yung kanyang paligid. Bakit nagiging dilaw? Because this bacteria, this streptococcus, they contain hemolysin that can actually destroy the red cells surrounding it. So yung paligid ng red cell nasisira because of some hemolysin. So in the case of your Streptococcus pyogenes, meron siyang mga hemolysins. Okay, that's why Streptococcus pyogenes is classified as beta hemolytic. Okay, ngayon naman, yung iba naman na Streptococcus such as the Streptococcus pneumoniae, yes, they can also lyse the red cells. However, they do not completely lyse it. So tinatawag lang siyang partial hemolysis. That's why you can see here, meron siyang greenish coloration. Greenish kasi nga hindi niya completely lyse yung mga red cell. Nagkaroon lang ng partial hemolysis. This is a characteristic of your Streptococcus pneumoniae. The other one, kapag non-hemolytic or gamma, ito yung mga common sa Enterococcus. Ito rin yung common sa other Streptococci. Kapag non-hemolytic or gamma hemolytic, you just see the colonies but wala siyang hemolysis or wala siyang lysis surrounding it. Another one is the wide zone or the double zone hemolysis or what you call the alpha prime. Kapag alpha prime, you can see here, there's a first layer of hemolysis surrounded by another layer of hemolysis. So meron kang double zone hemolysis dito. This is typical of the viridates. Okay? So those are the different hemolytic pattern. Now, another way to classify the Streptococcus is to classify it based on the Lancefield classification. Now, anong basis ng Lancefield classification? This classification system states that a cell wall of a bacteria, particularly Streptococcus, they contain unique specific carbohydrate. Okay, for example, if you're looking for the group A strep, they contain the rhamnose and acetylglucosamine. If we're looking for the group B, they contain the rhamnose, glucosamine, polysaccharide, and so on. So, ibig sabihin niya, class, every grouping of the Streptococcus, meron daw siyang kanya-kanyang carbohydrate that can be used to identify the bacteria based on serologic grouping. Anong ibig sabihin ng serologic grouping? This is one way to test the bacteria based on incubating it with specific anti-serum. So yung anti-serum na yun, meron siya mga specific antibodies that will bind to specific carbohydrates. Kapag nagkaroon ng binding, nagkaroon ng reaction, that's the time na you can identify the bacteria. Okay? So kada isang grupo daw ng Streptococcus, meron siyang kanya-kanyang unique carbohydrate found on their cell wall that can be used to identify them. And sino ba yung mga grupo na yon? So when you say group A or the Lancefield group antigen A, that refers to Streptococcus pyogenes. For the group B, that refers to Strep agalactiae. For the group D, that refers to the Enterococcus. And for the Streptococcus pneumoniae, they don't have any Lancefield grouping. Bakit walang Lancefield grouping ang Streptococcus pneumoniae? Kasi class, the pneumoniae, this is surrounded by a capsule. Okay? Surrounded siya ng capsule. That's why yung kanyang antigen, yung kanyang mga carbohydrate, it cannot be detected through serogrouping. Okay? Kasi nga, surrounded siya ng capsule. Okay? So, pagdating naman klase hemolysis, again, kapag beta hemolytic streptococcus, dalawa klasang pathogen natin. We have the pyogenes and the agalactiae. If it is the alpha hemolytic, we have the Streptococcus pneumoniae and also the Viridan streptococcus. If it is the non-hemolytic, alpha or beta or the mixed type, you have the Enterococcus. Okay? So how do you classify the Streptococcus? So sabi ko nga kanina, class, simulan mo muna siya sa hemolytic pattern. Kapag nakakita ka ng beta hemolysis, dalawa yung suspect mo dyan, either pyogenes or agalactiae. Anong test ang gagawin mo next? Perform the susceptibility testing. If it is susceptible to bacitracin, then the answer is pyogenes. If it is resistant sa bacitracin, it can be agalactiae. And you may confirm it by performing the CAMP test and also the heparine hydrolysis test. Okay? If it is heparine hydrolysis positive, CAMP test positive, it can be Streptococcus agalactiae. So sabi ko nga kanina, for the pyogenes, basta susceptible sa bacitracin, beta hemolytic pyogenes na yun. But you may also confirm using the PYR reaction. It is PYR positive. Okay? Now let's go to the non-hemolytic, the alpha and the beta. Ito yung mix. It can be Enterococcus. For the Enterococcus, ano yung test na ginagawa natin dyan? We perform the salt tolerance test. As you can see, class, siya lang ang nagpo-positive sa salt tolerance. It is able to grow in 6.5% sodium chloride. You can also perform the bile esculin test. If it is bile esculin positive, it grows at 6.5% salt. The answer is Enterococcus. Now, for the strep pneumoniae and also the Viridan strep, pareho silang alpha hemolysis. Okay? Now, for the alpha hemolysis, anong test na ginagawa natin? We perform the optokin test. If it is susceptible to optokin, the answer is pneumoniae. You may confirm that by performing the biosolubility testing and even the Kellang reaction, which I'm going to show you later. Now, for the viridans naman, as long as resistant siya sa optokin, viridans na siya. Okay? Then you may also perform other tests for that. But take note na as long as it is streptococcus, lahat ng streptococcus class, they're all classified as leucine aminopeptidase positive or what you call the LAP positive. Okay, LAP for leucine aminopeptidase. This is all positive for streptococcus. Okay, so anong purpose ng leucine aminopeptidase? This is to correlate with your catalase reaction. So kapag nakita mo na yung gram state mo is gram-positive cocci in chain, possible na strep, di ba? So the catalase test ka, dapat catalase negative. If you want to correlate, you should test for the leucine aminopeptidase. It should be positive for the lab. Okay? Yan ang significance. Now, next is the, okay. So sabi ko nga kanina class, ang streptococcus natin, they are part of the flora. Most of them can be found sa skin and also in your mucosa. However, meron kang dalawang exception. The exceptions are Streptococcus pyogenes and your Streptococcus pneumoniae. They are never part of the flora, particularly your Streptococcus pyogenes, okay? And also the Streptococcus pneumoniae. If you get that infection Let's say pyogenes, nagkaroon ka niyan, ano mangyayari sa'yo? You're going to have sore throat, pharyngitis, and that can also lead to several complications, which I'm going to discuss later. Ganun din class ang Streptococcus pneumoniae. If you get that infection, it can colonize your nasopharynx, leading to sepsis and meningitis, and also pneumonia. Pneumonia. Okay? Kaya tinawag na Streptococcus pneumoniae. Okay? So those are the pathogens. The rest, you can see that on your mucosa and also on your skin. Ito yung mga part of the flora. Okay? So let's go to the beta hemolytic streptococcus. So for the beta hemolytic strep, sino yung mga significant pathogen dyan? Of course, you have here the Streptococcus pyogenes and also the Streptococcus agalactiae. Okay? So iunahin mo na natin si pyogenes or the group A strep. Now for the group A strep, they are known to cause the following condition. Ito yung mga sakit ni group A strep. Una-una muna is strep throat or what you call pharyngitis. Okay? Ito yung mga bata na lagi nagkakaroon ng tonsillitis. Balik-balik yung ubo nila. Kapag ganun yung case, usually, the doctor will recommend to remove the tonsils. Bakit nire-recommend ng doktor na tanggalin yung tonsils sa mga bata? Kasi class, kapag pabalik-balik yung streptococcus infection, meron tayong possible na complication na mangyari. Wherein the child may develop antibodies against the streptococcus pyogenes that can lead to rheumatic fever. Ano yung rheumatic fever class? Kapag rheumatic fever, ibig sabihin noon, yung antibody produced against Streptococcus pyogenes, they tend to attack the heart tissue of the patient. Okay? So yung bata, nagkakaroon tuloy siya ng heart disease because of the antibodies. So usually, this happen after infection caused by Streptococcus pyogenes. Okay? Hindi lang heart ang pwedeng atakihin ng antibody na yan. Pwede rin siyang umatake sa kidney causing glomerulonephritis. Okay? So that happens mga months after the infection, usually mga 2 months. Okay? So besides sa complications of the Streptococcus pyogenes infection coming from the sore throat or pharyngitis, marami ding mga skin infection that it can cause. So here on the picture, you can see this is necrotizing fasciitis, okay, or what you call the flesh-eating disease. These are the stages of the necrotizing fasciitis. Literal na kinakain niya yung flesh ng pasyente, okay? This is also the streptococcal impetigo. Okay, again, this is the impetigo caused by streptococcus. And also, this is the erysipelas. Okay? Kapag erysipelas, you have here the redness of the skin. Okay? It can also cause scarlet fever. Kapag naman scarlet fever, yung pasyente mo, meron siyang sore throat, meron siyang fever with rashes. Kaya tinawag na scarlet fever. Yung rashes niya all over the body. Okay? So again, this is the necrotizing fasciitis. Again, this is the necrotizing fasciitis. This is the streptococcal impetigo. This is the erysipelas. Okay? So besides that, it can also cause cellulitis, myositis. Kapag myositis, ibig sabihin noon, yung infection niya from the skin napunta na sa connective tissue or sa muscles. So infected na yung muscles niya. Okay? Bacteremia, of course. Streptococcal shock syndrome, pwede rin. It can also spread to your organs. Okay? So what are the reasons bakit highly virulent siya? Kasi nga, it has several virulence factors. Una-una, meron siyang protein F for attachment. Meron din siyang hyaluronic acid as a capsule to inhibit phagocytosis. Meron siyang M protein that is also antiphagocytic. It also has hemolysin. The hemolysin, that is the one that can destroy your tissues and cells. It also has streptolysin O, streptolysin S that can cause lysis of your cells. Streptokinase, DNase, and hyaluronidase that can spread the infection. Again, na itong tatlo na yan, streptokinase, DNase, and hyaluronidase, ito yung pangkalat ng infection. They can spread the infection. They also have exotoxin that can lead to scarlet fever or multi-system effect that can result to death. They can also have C5a peptidase destroying complement chemotactic factors. Okay? So those are the different virulence factor that makes the pyogenes highly pathogenic. Kaya nga sabi ko kanina, they are never part of the flora kasi nga napakarami niyang virulence factor. Okay? For the rheumatic fever naman, tsaka glomerulonephritis, sabi ko nga kanina, these are complications of the pyogenes infection. So after the primary infection ng pharyngitis, pwede ka magkaroon ng rheumatic fever and glomerulonephritis because your antibodies that you produce against this bacteria are now attacking your tissue. They can attack your heart, causing rheumatic fever. They can also attack your kidney, causing glomerulonephritis. Okay? So, these are the tests na sinabi ko naman na kanina, di ba? Sinabi ko na yan. So, this one, anti-ASO test. So, para saan yung ASO or the anti-ceftriaxone O test? So, again, you perform ASO test 2 months after the primary infection. So, 2 months after ng pharyngitis, pwede mo pa-check up yung bata kapag meron siya nararamdaman na palpitations, di ba? Or heart murmur, okay? So, anong test ang ginagawa? We perform the ASO test or the anti-ceftriaxone O test. We get the serum. So what we do is, this is the test. So meron ka ditong slide. Papatak mo dito yung serum ng bata. Papatak mo rin yung kanyang latex reagent. Itong puti na yan, this is the latex reagent. Ito yung reagent class. And then you mix that, kapag nagkaroon ng agglutination like this one, nagkaroon siya ng parang buo-buo. This is positive for Streptococcus pyogenes. Ibig sabihin niyan, meron kang antibody na anti-streptolysin O. Ibig sabihin, 2 months prior, nagkaroon ka ng infection caused by the Strep pyogenes at mataas yung antibody mo. So possible na nagkakaroon ka ng heart problem kasi nga, yung antibody mo is now destroying your heart tissue. Yan ang test, yan ang significance ng ASO testing. Okay? Usually kapag nag-positive, we check for the titer. Kapag mataas yung titer, mas mataas ang kapag mataas yung titer, it means poor prognosis. Okay? Now, next is the virulence factor. Now, for the virulence factor class, sinabi ko na ito kanina. So, naka-sentence lang siya, but in-explain ko na siya kanina. So, take note of the following. Streptolysin O, streptolysin S, ito yung mga hemolysins responsible for lysis of red cells. Kaya nga, class, kapag tingnan mo yan sa blood agar, ang pyogenes is beta hemolytic. Beta hemolytic sila. Kasi nga, class, meron silang streptolysins. Streptolysins O and S that can lyse red cells. Okay, yan ang effect nila. Ano pa? Okay, now meron din siyang tinatawag na erythogenic toxin that can cause scarlet fever. Kaya nga class, meron kang fever plus rashes. Okay, and they can also act as super antigens. Kaya nagkakaroon ka ng rash. Now for the T substance naman class, this is used to differentiate the serotype of Streptococcus by testing it with specific anti-serum. Next is the enzymes. Ito mga enzymes na yung class, sabi ko nga kanina, streptokinase, streptodornase, hyaluronidase enzyme. Ito yung mga enzyme na nilalabas ni Streptococcus pyogenes para ikalat niya yung infection. Because sa streptokinase, they can actually lyse blood clot. Okay? So kung meron mang clot, ilalyse yan para kumalat siya sa katawan mo. That's why streptokinase is also being used intravenously for treatment of pulmonary emboli. So kapag merong mga clot yung pasyente, pwedeng bigyan ng streptokinase. But this is the purified form and the small concentration na. Can be used as a treatment. Okay? Streptodornase naman, this is similar to your DNase enzyme. That can actually decrease the viscosity of DNA. Kaya nga naman, nasisira yung mga cells natin. That's why it can lead to spread of the infection as well. Hyaluronidase naman class, this will digest the connective tissues in our body by splitting hyaluronic acid that can cause the spreading of the infection. Okay? Next is the infection. So sabi ko na kanina, these are the different infections. Na-explain ko na yan. Okay. So again, another one is the streptococcal toxic shock syndrome. Kapag toxic shock syndrome class, usually, this is being caused by the exotoxin, SPEA. So what you're going to have is multi-system involvement. So your organs will be affected that can lead to shock and death. Okay? So those are the infections. So this is the test being performed kapag nakakita ka ng beta hemolytic strep. So kapag beta hemolytic strep class, anong gagawin mo? Magbacitracin testing ka mo. If it is susceptible, then it is Streptococcus pyogenes. So how do you do the bacitracin testing? This is what it looks like. Okay? Una muna, you need a blood agar. Sa blood agar, lalagyan mo siya ng bacteria. And then patungan mo siya ng bacitracin disc. And then incubate that overnight. Kinabukasan class, ito magiging itsura niya. So this is what it looks like after overnight incubation. So after 18 hours, ito ang kanyang itsura. Meron siyang tumutubo na colony. Like this one, ito yung mga bacteria tumubo na. And then you can see yung reaction niya sa antibiotic. Yung isa, merong zone of inhibition. Ibig sabihin noon, it is susceptible. Yung isa naman wala, ibig sabihin it is resistant. So kapag daw ang bacteria mo ay susceptible sa bacitracin, anong sagot mo? Pyogenes. This is what it looks like. Since meron kang zone of inhibition, this is pyogenes. Ito naman, wala kang zone, it can be a Galaxy. And how do you test for that? You can perform the CAMP test. This is the CAMP test, which I'm going to show you later then. Ito class, this is the PYR. This is just to verify if it is really pyogenes. Pyogenes should be PYR positive. Okay. So, for the culture, sabi ko nga kanina, blood agar and chocolate agar are the best. Okay? But for the streptococcus, you need blood agar supplemented with trimethoprim sulfamethoxazole. Okay? Because the trimethoprim, this can suppress the growth of normal flora. Ano yung mga normal flora na ayaw natin dyan? We don't want viridans. Okay? Kasi class, ang Streptococcus pyogenes, nakukuha mo yan sa throat swab. Since throat swab yan, ano bang bakterya sa throat natin? Marami tayong viridans, di ba? So possible na makuha mo rin yung viridans during collection. So yun ang iniiwasan natin. That's why we need to add trimethoprim to inhibit the viridan streptococci. Okay? We also have several antigen detection tests for the Strep agalactiae and Strep pyogenes that can detect antigens from serum, urine, or CSV. Now, next is, so ito class, diniscuss ko na rin to. Ito yung mga different na colony appearance. Na-discuss ko na rin yan. Also this one, ito yung mga biochemical test, na-discuss ko na rin class. Okay, nakapresent lang siya in another way. So let's go to Streptococcus agalactiae. So para saan class ang agalactiae? Class ang agalactiae, this is part of the flora ng female genital tract. Most of the women have Streptococcus agalactiae in their female genital tract. So normal flora yan. Okay? Ngayon, kailan siya nagiging pathogen? Nagiging pathogen siya kapag nanganak ang babae through normal delivery. Kasi class, kapag nanganak siya through normal delivery, dadaan ang baby sa vaginal canal. So, makukuha ng baby yung bacteria during the time na pinanganak siya. So that's why a few days or a few weeks after the child has been born, makakaroon na siya ng sintomas. Ano magiging sintomas ng bata? Pwede siya magkaroon ng sepsis and meningitis and respiratory distress. So ito yung pwede mangyari sa baby. Sepsis, meningitis, and respiratory distress during the first month of life. Ito yung disease na pwede makuha ng bata. Okay? Paano naman yung mother? Yung mother naman class, since siya ay nanganak, possible naman na yung bacteria na yan, the agalactiae, ay makapasok sa kanyang bloodstream. Kapag nakapasok yan sa dugo ng nanay, pwede siya mamatay because of sepsis and septic shock. So it can lead to endometritis, pelvic abscess, and septic shock, also known as abortion fever. Okay? Pwede rin maapektuhan yung kanyang heart, causing tricuspid valve endocarditis. So pwede itong ikamatay ng nanay na kakapanganak lang. This is actually one of the reason why may mga mother na kapag nanganak ay namamatay because of sepsis. Because siya ay merong Streptococcus agalactiae. Okay, ito yung common cause. Bakit ito yung common cause? Kasi nga, agalactiae is part of the flora. Okay? So ano dapat ang gagawin para maiwasan yan? It is recommended that during the 35th to 37th week of gestation, kapag malapit na manganak yung mother, kailangan ipatest siya kung meron nga siyang strep agalactiae. At kung meron siyang strep agalactiae, kailangan siya bigyan ng ampicillin. Okay, ampicillin before giving birth para safe yung baby at safe din yung mother at hindi siya magkaroon ng sepsis during giving birth. Okay? So intravenous ampicillin is given to mothers na meron ito. Ngayon, kapag naman hindi siya na-test, after giving birth, pwede naman silang bigyan ng penicillin. Yung penicillin, binibigay siya doon sa baby and even doon sa mothers din. However, mataas yung chance kasi na mamatay talaga yung nanay because of sepsis kapag hindi naagapan yung bacteria. Okay? Kaya nga naman, preventive pa rin, preventive care. So prior to giving birth, dapat ipa-check up yung pregnant women para matest kung meron ang agalactiae. Okay? At mabigyan ng ampicillin. Now, next is, okay, so how do you check? Okay, dito muna tayo sa virulence factor. Virulence factor is uncertain, possible doon na merong capsule. Diba? Kaya nga, nagkukos siya ng sepsis. Okay? Now, also, for the infection, sinabi ko na to kanina, the baby can have the following: sepsis, fever, meningitis, respiratory distress, lethargy, hypotension. This is seen sa baby 5 days, within the first 5 days of life, or up to first 3 months after birth. Okay? So 3 months, 7 days, 5 days, doon pwedeng makita yung sintomas sa baby. Sa mother naman, again, pwede siya magkaroon ng sepsis, what you call the abortion fever din. Okay? So how do you detect for the Streptococcus agalactiae sa pregnant women? So what we do is we collect the vaginal swab and then we culture that on the toluene broth. Pwede rin sa lean broth. Okay? And then after culturing sa broth, you have to culture that sa blood agar and also sa chocolate agar and then perform testing for Streptococcus agalactiae. Ano ulit yung mga test for agalactiae? You have to perform bacitracin. Dapat resistant siya. Okay? And then perform the CAM test. Dapat positive like this one. Kapag bacillus resistant, CAM positive, ang sagot is agalactiae. Okay? That is how you test for Streptococcus agalactiae. So, meron tayong alternative na way of testing it. You have the Strep B carrot broth. Kapag Strep B carrot broth class, yung swab na kinuha mo from the pregnant women, dito mo siya ilalagay sa Strep B carrot broth. They incubate it overnight, and then kinabukasan, kinabukasan class, you inoculate the beta hemolytic colonies dito ulit sa Strep B carrot broth. And then you incubate it for 6 hours. If the broth turns orange or red, it is positive for Streptococcus agalactiae. Okay? So specific siya for Strep agalactiae. Kapag naging red yan or orange, ibig sabihin merong Streptococcus agalactiae. Okay? Now, if the CAMP test is questionable, kung di ka makakuha ng maayos na result sa CAMP test, you may also perform the heparate hydrolysis testing. Okay? If this heparate hydrolysis positive, CAMP test positive, then the answer really is Streptococcus agalactiae. So this is how you perform the CAMP test. Paano ginagawa yung CAMP test? So for the CAMP test, what we do is we streak here at the center the Staphylococcus aureus. Bakit kailangan ng Staphylococcus aureus class? Because Staph aureus is also beta hemolytic. It produces the protein known as beta-lysine that can enhance the hemolytic activity of the Streptococcus agalactiae. Again, ang Streptococcus agalactiae, beta hemolytic yan. So talagang magkakos siya ng hemolysis. Okay? Like this one, may hemolysis yan. Pero kapag nag-culture ka, nakatabi ang agalactiae, katabi ni Staph aureus, yung beta-lysine coming from the Staph aureus will now enhance the hemolysis. Kaya may kita mo, meron siyang malaking hemolysis dito known as the arrowhead formation. Kapag ng arrowhead or the enhanced hemolysis because of the beta-lysine from the Staph aureus, ang sagot dyan is Streptococcus agalactiae. Okay? This is seen sa Streptococcus agalactiae. Again, you streak across the Staph aureus kasi sa Staph aureus meron siyang beta-lysine that can cause beta hemolysis. The beta-lysine will enhance the hemolytic activity of the Streptococcus agalactiae. Kaya nagkakaroon ka ng arrowhead formation dito. Okay? Yon. So kung di ka pa convinced sa CAMP test, pwede ka mag-perform ng heparate hydrolysis testing. It is also positive for the heparate hydrolysis testing. So this is the differentiation of agalactiae versus Pyogenes again. For the PYR, Pyogenes is PYR positive. Agalactiae is PYR negative. Agalactiae is heparate hydrolysis positive. Pyogenes is negative. For the bacitracin, agalactiae is resistant. Pyogenes is susceptible. For the CAMP test, agalactiae is positive. Pyogenes is negative. Okay? So those are the tests to differentiate agalactiae versus Pyogenes. Now, for the other groups of the streptococci, this is found from the environment. For the group N, it can cause souring of milk. For the other groups, it can cause infection in animals. So, hindi siya ganun ka-significant. Okay? So, now let's go to Streptococcus pneumoniae. Ayan. Now, for the Streptococcus pneumoniae, this is also known as pneumococcus. So, again, ang ibang tawag sa kanya is pneumococcus. So, ano kasi ang characteristic ni Streptococcus pneumoniae? So, una muna sa gram stain. As you can see, class, sa gram stain, it is described as lancet shape. Kapag lancet shape, ibig sabihin noon, yung kanyang dulo medyo pointed. Kaya ka tinawag na lancet shape. Okay? Now, besides that, as you can see, class, sa kanyang colony, ano ulit ang kanyang hemolysis? It is alpha hemolytic. Alpha hemolytic. Besides that, the colonies of the Streptococcus pneumoniae is also autolytic, meaning, kusa siyang nasisira yung kanyang colony. Kaya nga, class, when you see the colony of the Streptococcus pneumoniae, una muna, dome shape siya, just like a typical colony. However, kapag lumipas yung oras, it will tend to it will tend to lies on its own. Nasisira siya on its own. Kaya nagkakasya tinatawag na depressed dome shape appearance kasi yung gitna niya nasisira na. Tulad niyan, depressed dome shape. This is what the depressed dome shape looks like. Yung gitna niya parang nabubutas na kasi nga autolytic siya. Okay, this one, autolytic. Automatic siya naglalays. Yan ang characteristic ng colony ng Streptococcus pneumoniae. Sa ibang libro, ang description sa kanya is coin with a raised rim. Okay? Meron kang dalawang klase ng colony ng Streptococcus pneumoniae. Meron kang mucoid type, meron ka namang non-mucoid. Kapag nakita mo yung mucoid type, ito yung delikado. Ito yung may capsule that can cause meningitis. Okay? So, yung isa naman, yung non-mucoid type, it can cause pneumonia and otitis media, yung mga non-mucoid type. Pero kapag mucoid, ito yung nagkakos ng meningitis. Ito yung delikado na type of, serotype of Streptococcus pneumoniae, the mucoid type. Okay? So bakit siya highly pathogenic? Kasi nga, meron siyang pneumolysine that can kill your cells. Meron siyang capsule. Yan, capsule. Kaya nga, pwede siya mag-cause ng meningitis, di ba? Meron din siyang tinatawag na secretory IgA protease. Ibig sabihin ng class, this bacteria, they can destroy the IgA antibodies. Ano ba yung IgA antibody class? Class ang IgA, antibody mo yan sa mucous membrane mo. Tulad ng ilong mo. So lahat tayo, meron tayong IgA sa nose natin. Kapag may pumasok na bakterya, sisirain ni IgA. Pero sa case ni Streptococcus pneumoniae, kapag daw nasinghot mo siya, kapag nasinghot mo si Strep pneumoniae, maglalabas siya ng IgA protease para sirain ang IgA antibody mo. Kaya nakakapasok siya sa katawan mo. It can cause pneumonia, sepsis, meningitis. Yan ang effect ni Streptococcus pneumoniae. Sa mga bata, it can also cause otitis media. So for the pneumonia, again, it has a capsule and the secretory IgA protease. So for the infection, it can cause pneumonia, bacteremia, meningitis, sinusitis, peritonitis, endocarditis, and otitis media. These are the diseases caused by the Streptococcus pneumoniae. Okay. So it is important na whenever we're suspecting pneumonia, it is important to differentiate it from the Viridans streptococci. Bakit kasama si Viridans dyan? Kasi class, Viridans is also alpha hemolytic. Most of the Viridans are alpha hemolytic. So possible na pagkamalan mong strep pneumo ang mga Viridans strep. Okay? So later, di-discuss natin kung paano sila paghiwalayan. So let's go back to the pneumococcus. Now, one of the screening test to detect for the Streptococcus pneumoniae is to perform the CRP. For the CRP class or the C-reactive protein, this is a marker of inflammation or infection. Basta meron kang infection, mataas ang CRP mo class. It is not specific for the Streptococcus pneumoniae. Okay? If that happens na mataas ang CRP mo, you may culture for the Streptococcus pneumoniae. If you see alpha hemolytic colonies, lancet-shaped bacteria under the microscope, and then alpha hemolytic colonies na autolytic na naglalays on its own, it can be Streptococcus pneumoniae. And how do you check for that? You may perform the capsular swelling test, also known as Neufeld test. So for the Neufeld test, anong ginagawa natin? We get the bacteria, and then we incubate it with anti-serum specific against Streptococcus pneumoniae. After 6 hours of incubation, we take a look under the microscope and we look for kailang reaction, also known as capsular swelling. So kapag daw yung bacteria mo lumaki, namaga siya, lumaki siya after 6 hours of incubation sa anti-sera, ibig sabihin noon, nag-swell yung capsule. So possible na ito ay Streptococcus pneumoniae. Okay? Yan ang magiging, yan class ang one of the screening tests for Streptococcus pneumoniae. Again, screening test lang yan. Screening lang ang CRP and also the Neufeld test. Screening test yan. Okay. So once nag-positive ka sa Neufeld test, anong next mo pwedeng gawin? You may perform octokin testing. Ito na yung mga definitive test natin for Streptococcus pneumoniae. For the octokin test class, take note that it is octokin susceptible. So paano ginagawang octokin test? What we do is, we culture the blood agar with the bacteria. So itong blood agar, lalagyan mo yun ng bacteria mo, the Streptococcus pneumoniae. And then, patungan mo siya ng Taxopi or the octokin disc. And then incubate overnight. Kinabukasan, ganito magiging itsura niya. Again, this is the reaction overnight. After incubating, after 18 hours. After 18 hours, makikita mo, meron ng tumubo na bacteria. The bacteria grows after 18 hours, okay, of incubation. Ito yan. And then you can see, yung isa, merong zone of inhibition, yung isa naman wala. If it has a zone of inhibition, it is susceptible. So kapag susceptible sa optokin, ang sagot ay Streptococcus pneumoniae. Kapag naman walang zone of inhibition, that is resistant, ang sagot ay Viridans streptococci. Okay? So if it is resistant sa optokin, anong next mo pwedeng gawin? You may perform bile esquilin test. Kapag negative nga sa bile esquilin, viridans na ang sagot. Pero kapag nag-positive sa bile esquilin, pwede ka mag 6.5% sodium chloride testing and PYR kasi possible na yan ay Enterococcus, which is the group D streptococci. Okay? So those are the testing algorithm for the Streptococcus pneumoniae. Now going back, again, ito yung mga basic characteristic ng Streptococcus pneumoniae, do not forget. The colonies are depressed dome shape. And also, since it is autolytic, yung center niya nagiging collapse, giving it a coin with a raised rim appearance, which is sinabi ko kanina. This is what it looks like. Coin with a raised rim appearance, or what you call the depressed dome shape appearance. Okay? And also, alpha hemolytic. Now, again, besides the optokin test, let's say hindi ka pa convinced sa optokin, you may also perform the bile solubility testing. So kapag bile solubility, you drop the bile salts on the agar. So let's say this one, you drop sodium desoxycholate or bile over here. Kapag nag-lyse siya, nagkaroon ng clearing zone, ibig sabihin it is Streptococcus pneumoniae. That is the bile solubility testing. Okay? You drop the bile solution or the sodium desoxycholate. Kapag yan ay nag-lyse or nag-clear, ang sagot is bile soluble positive. Ang sagot is Streptococcus pneumoniae. Okay? So that is one way to verify for the optokin testing. Now for the treatment ng pneumonia, again, most isolates pa rin is susceptible to penicillin. However, some strain are resistant. So later, di-discuss ko yung mga treatment options. Next is the viridans. Ang viridans class, group siya ng microorganism. Group siya class ng mga streptococcus. So marami siyang group. Meron siyang mutants group, salivarius, bovis, agenosus, and the mitis group. Ang viridans class, again, part yan ng flora ng ating mouth. Ng teeth, ng throat, ng nasopharynx, mucosa, lahat yan, merong viridans. Okay? So kailan na siya nagiging significant? Nagiging significant siya if they're able to gain entry to your blood. Kapag nakapasok siya sa blood mo, doon siya nagiging significant. Particularly class during dental procedure. Let's say nagpa-dental surgery ka. Tapos, pinasukan yung viridans, pumasok sa bloodstream mo. Doon siya pwede mag-cause ng infection. Okay? It can lead to endocarditis and bacteremia. Kapag naman poor hygiene ka, it can also cause dental caries or what you call the tooth decay, especially if it is being caused by the Streptococcus mutans. Okay? Yung kanilang mga hemolytic pattern, variable ang hemolytic pattern ng viridans. Karamihan sa kanila alpha hemolytic. Meron ding gamma, meron ding beta hemolytic. Okay? But most of them are alpha hemolytic. They have greening on the sheath blood agar. So again, kapag napunta siya sa blood mo, pwede siya mag-lead sa tooth abscess, abdominal infection, bacteremia, valve endocarditis, and prosthetic valve endocarditis. That's how they can cause infection. Okay? Now, next is the different infections caused by the viridans. For the anginosus, associated siya sa oropharynx, brain, and peritoneal cavity. They can form abscess. Constellatus naman can cause pharyngitis, endocarditis as well. Bovis can cause sepsis and bacteremia endocarditis. Galolyticus related sa GIT cancer. For mutants, it can lead to dental caries, lalo na kapag ikaw ay poor hygiene. Okay? Next is the Enterococcus. Now, for the Enterococcus class, ito yung mga gamma hemolytic natin, meaning wala siyang hemolysis. However, class, yung ibang Enterococcus, meron ding alpha and beta. So, it depends. Okay? Now, for the Enterococcus naman class, anong significance nito? It is related to UTI. Tandaan nyo class, basta Enterococcus, UTI yan. UTI, urinary tract infection. But besides UTI, pwede rin siya mag-cause ng bacteremia, endocarditis, mixed infection, bone infections, and sometimes respiratory infection. But ang kanyang primary infection is always UTI. Meron kang dalawang species ng Enterococcus. You have fecalis and faecium. Okay? For the treatment, you may give vancomycin for the Enterococcus. So how do you identify for the Enterococcus? For the Enterococcus class, take note that it is able to grow in 6.5% sodium chloride. So if you see no hemolysis in the blood agar, you may perform the bile esculin testing. If the bile esculin is positive, perform growth on 6.5% sodium chloride and the PYR testing. If it is all positive, then the answer is Enterococcus. Another test is the bile esculin, this one. So for the bile esculin, paano ginagawa yan? This is the bile esculin agar. All you need to do is to culture the bacteria, the Enterococcus, and then kapag nagkaroon siya ng blackening of the medium, you see the blackening of the medium, this is bile esculin agar positive. So this is what it looks like. Ito yung bile esculin, this is what it looks like. Meron siyang blackening of the agar. Okay? Again, kapag nag-positive sa bile esculin, pwedeng Enterococcus, anong next na gagawin? Culture in 6.5% salt and PYR testing. Kapag both positive, the answer is Enterococcus. So for the following slides, ito yung summary ng mga sinabi ko. So dito nakasummarize na yung mga bacteria, Laswell grouping, hemolysis, saan sila nakikita sa katawan, laboratory testing tsaka result, and also yung mga diseases. So nakasummarize siya, class. Okay, ito yung summary ng buong lecture. Yan. Ito, summary din yan. Okay? Yan. So for the treatment, again, penicillin is given sa kanilang lahat. However, class, yung iba, meron siyang resistance pattern sa penicillin tulad ng strep pneumoniae. So strep pneumoniae, you may give also fluoroquinolone, trimethoprim, and also the macrolides. Kasi nga, meron siyang resistance pattern kay penicillin. Also, yung Viridans streptococci as well. Okay? Another one is the Enterococcus. Yes, meron din siyang resistant pattern. So you may give penicillin plus other antibiotics as well. Okay, nagko-combination therapy ka dyan. So yun lang class, yung topic for the Streptococcus. Do you have any questions class? May tanong po ba?